Okay, so hello everybody, welcome back to another episode. In this one, we are looking at a 13-cent stock, which has actually been pumping up almost 200% in just the last 2 or 3 days. So of course, looking at this one from the 13th of January, we can see we are now up 165+%. And of course, that is now coming on the close to 200% mark. And it is kind of starting to level out on the past day or so. So the question for this one is it going to pump on Monday morning? Is it going to pump next week? Are we going to see big increases? Are we going to touch the 20-cent mark? Are we going to see, big growth? Or ultimately, is this just another dead penny stock? Well, of course, in tonight's episode, we are taking a look at what the company actually does and all that kind of good stuff to kind of make an assumption on what may happen in the future. So, of course, this video only contains my opinion. Everything which I'm about to state is not financial advice. It is all just my personal views based on what we have been seeing, and you do need to do your own research. With that being said, though, if you do enjoy the video, please do leave a like and subscribe. It would be massively appreciated. And on top of that, guys, if you do want to come talk to us on Discord, we have a very big community now on Discord. Link to it is down in the description. With that being said, if you would like to become a channel member by donating a small amount each month, you can do that. It would be massively appreciated. Link is down next to the subscribe button where it says join. You can sign yourself up there. So of course, we're not going to waste any more time. We are going to jump straight in by having a look at what the company actually does first, and then moving on to the charts. So guys, this description is coming from Yahoo Finance, and they are saying that this company designs, engineers and sells cultivation technologies for controlled environment agriculture to state and provincial regulated cannabis cultivators in the United States, Canada and internationally. So of course, its services do include liquid-based processors and cooling systems and climate control systems. So we can kind of understand where this one is, operating in. Basically, to sum this one up, it's obviously in like the plant growing sector, so mainly agriculture, but it also says that it's potentially, regulated cannabis growth as well. So obviously that's a big industry which it is covering. Let's just generally call it plants, and of course, many different plants do fall under that, but from what I can tell from this description, that is what the company does. So of course, now that we know that, we can kind of understand where this one is going. I do believe there is a big market sector for this in the future, especially as we do move mainly into the next 20 or 30 years. And I know it's a long time frame, and I do believe that we can see growth in the next 2 to 3 months. Not insane growth, but I do believe, in the next few years we are going to see a lot more growth in this industry, as generally speaking, a lot more things are being grown indoors. And I know that's true for a lot of like cannabis and whatnot, but it's also true for plants, as they are often grown indoors, on mass scale sometimes in agriculture, and we have seen this in many different countries, and I'm not going to talk too much about that, but now we are going to be moving on to what the actual stock has been doing. So of course, on the past 5 days, guys, we can see that big increase. Now of course, looking at this one on the past month, we can see a pattern that we often do see with these stocks, and of course that is often the big pump that we do see in the price, and then the day after that we do see a bit of a sell off. Now, obviously, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. When we do see a big increase, it is bound to sell off a little bit here and there, so it does kind of make sense that it is down. Now, of course, looking at this one into the next week, I definitely think we should level out at a point around here. I think if that is the case and we can see 1 to 2 days of relatively flat activity, we are in a good standing to go a bit more further into the green and hopefully break past new highs. We have seen patterns like this in many other of our penny stocks which we have been looking at, where they have actually broken past this level here and actually gone back up and reached new highs. So of course, that is often the pattern with these stocks, so please don't get concerned about the big sell-off. It was bound to happen, and if we look at the whole thing in context over the past month, we can see we are up big anyway, with increases of around 160%, like I said. So of course, even with that growth being factored in and that sell-off subsequently, things are still looking insane, and I think now we are on a good path with this stock. So yeah, guys, like I said, looking into the next month, I honestly can see good things potentially happening. And I do think one of 3 things can happen, like I often do say with these penny stocks. One, it could definitely rocket up in the pattern which I just explained, i.e. 1 to 2 days of relatively flat activity and then some more increases. That would be the best case scenario. On the other hand, scenario is a potential that it could actually go down 1 or 2 more days. And I think that's not too bad of a thing, as long as it does level out at some point, hopefully better than what we were looking at. And I think at that point, we still are in a good region for growth. Now, of course, what we don't want to see is 1 to 3 weeks of kind of flat activity. Now, of course, more can happen after that, but of course, if we are seeing a few weeks of flat activity, it kind of, in my opinion at least, implies that people have kind of lost interest in the stock. Now, of course, if that is the case, we aren't really going to see too much of a pump afterwards, but overall, guys, with this one, I do think there is a lot of potential to see that growth in the next few weeks. So, of course, in my opinion, I do think this one can touch 20 cent, and of course, there is a message from our Discord, so feel free to join. But yeah, guys, like I said, I can see this one touching 20 cent, honestly, sooner than later, and I do see some big growth coming for this one in the future. So overall, it is going to take a big pump for it to get up to that 20 cent point, but honestly, if we can see the next week or two bring us some positive motion, I don't think it'll be too hard at all, as obviously on the charts we have been there before, and it's not impossible that we could break past that again and hopefully see some decent signs of growth. So of course, with penny stocks, there's always a speculative play in my opinion. They're always relatively risky, so please do bear that one in mind. But overall, yeah, it's not too bad in my opinion. I think we are still in a good region to see this one flatten out and hopefully make some profits next week. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye until then.